Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here with a project share. I belong to a Facebook group called Decoupage and More, and we were challenged to create a pincushion, a cupcake pincushion, and so I thought I would pop on to show you my version that I created. And I know a lot of ladies in the group have shown some really nice pin cushions that they've created already, and I'm kind of at the tail end of it just because I've been busy with other projects. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I couldn't wait to come on and show you guys today what I created. So I actually did end up starting out with just kind of a cheap little teacup that I found at the thrift store a long time ago that I was going to alter, and it was in my craft room. I already had it, so I thought that would make a nice base for my pin cushion. And of course I will show you guys maybe a picture at the end of it standing straight up so you can kind of check out what it looks like standing straight up. And then from there what I ended up doing is I created a couple of those little puffs, and by that I mean you just make a circle and you gather it and you pull it tight and you add some fiber fill inside of it. So here's like what one of them might have looked like, because I was playing around with some different fabric. And what I ended up doing is I created one of the puffs with material that looked like this, and I covered it with the lace. So that's kind of this bottom one right here. And then the top one I used this same material, and then I covered it with some trim. And I'll show you guys that trim. I purchased it at Hobby Lobby. I bought the whole bolt. And it's connected. It's kind of a rope trim with an edging on it. But as you can see, I took off the edging, the ribbon part of the trim. I just had to snip because it was sewed together in a few spots. So I just kind of snipped those. And then I pulled out any of the little random strings, which, you know, maybe you can see one right now. I pulled those out so that you wouldn't see it. And so what I ended up doing is I would take that trim and I just kind of put it on in a circular pattern, and I did sew it on. My fear was the last time I made a pin cushion, when I used a lot of hot glue, then when I went to go stick in the pins, I couldn't get them through the hot glue. So this time, this whole top part and even this bottom part was all sewed in. You know, I glued in some of the bead embellishments, but like I said, I just figured that way it's easier to stick in your stick pins and not have it hit the hot glue. So, and then the other main kind of trim that I used is this gorgeous trim that I received from Kim at Angel Dreams Crafts Kim. And normally you would probably put it on a project this way, hanging down, but I reversed it this way because I thought that make it kind of look more like a cupcake liner. And then you can see I just only glued it in a couple of spots. I just wanted to leave it kind of baggy and loose. So I did strategically glue how I wanted it. So I used that kind of as my base for my cupcake. And then on top of that, you can see besides this little rolled trim here, I added some along the base. And that was just mainly because this trim wasn't quite long enough to fit all the way down to the bottom. I also added some gold bead trim that I had. And then if you go further up the cup, you can see that I had this gorgeous bead trim right here, and that came off of a wedding dress that I took apart a long time ago, and I still have just a little bit of it left. I thought I might have some more sitting on my desk, but I must have put it away already. And then again, I repeated the gold trim and more of that bead trim that came off of a wedding dress. And then to kind of embellish it up here at the base, you can see I added a couple of flowers from my stash. And I believe some of them came from Wild Orchid Crafts a long time ago, and then the pink ones I think came from Julie's store, which is Craft Supplies for You. And I added them there, and I also added some flower clusters up here. I also went ahead and added some bead trim just hanging from this top set of flowers. I also added this little bead dangle, and I believe I actually received that one from Judy in a swap that we did in her group, and I thought that was just gorgeous. It matched all the little pink colors, and it looks really nice hanging off the side. And then you can also see I added some of those little flower stamens that you buy at Hobby Lobby. I also kind of folded up a doily, and this is a doily my mom made for me, and I just kind of stuck it behind that cluster, so when you look at it this way, there's just a little bit of that showing. And then also then on the front side, these two little pieces, the Eiffel Tower and the little cameo, they're both pins that I just pinned on to the cupcake. And then I stuck one of my stick pins right behind here. I just kind of angled it just so that there's kind of a set of 3. And I made these stick pins a long time ago. I've had them in my stash for a while. And then after, of course, I put that little braid trim around the top of this little cupcake pincushion, I added a piece of bling for my stash, and that I believe came from Hobby Lobby, just to cover kind of the top. Because I did start, when I did the braid trim, I did start it off with a little bit of hot glue under there, so that's why I just added another embellishment with hot glue. I also layered some eyelash trim underneath that, just for a little extra character and embellishment. And then again, up at the top, I added 3 more stick pins. And again, I had made these a long time ago, so I just grabbed them from my current stash. But I'll kind of hold it this way so you can kind of see it. And let me see if I can zoom out a little bit, so you can maybe get it all on camera just to see it this way. But I will take a picture of it standing upright, and I'll post that at the end of the video so you guys have a good view of it. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.